Hello, I'm Dan with the Positive Energy Podcast, our first podcast ever. Hopefully, not our last. Hopefully, you guys aren't tired of hearing me talk. And I am the man behind the Dan's Delight sandwich a couple weeks ago at Positive Energy Cafe. So, our guest tonight is Ashley Autumn,
Hey.
and Ashley will be performing at Positive Energy Cafe this weekend at 7 p.m. And Ashley, first, can we just start with your name? Obviously, is spelled a little bit different, and most people are probably like, is that Aisley? Or how is that Ashley? So could you talk to us about that?
Yeah, so my name's Ashley Autumn, and the word Ashley is spelled like Aisley, but pronounced a like as if it was spelled Ashley. And it's the mixture of Ashley as you would think it's spelled with the Irish Gaelic spelling of the word Ashling, so Aisling. And so my mom loved the way that the word ash was at the beginning with the AIS, and she combined it there. But the cool part is I didn't learn until just recently that the word ashling in Irish means dream. And my whole goal as a musician is to chase my dream and inspire other people to chase theirs. And so it's kind of crazy how, like, literally even my name holds that meaning. So I just thought it was a really cool and special reason for why it's spelled the way that it is.
Yeah, so it kind of fits perfectly, right?
Literally, yeah.
Yep. So I was kind of thinking back at the first time that I ever came across hearing any of your music or seeing you. And I kind of look back and it seems crazy, almost 2 years
Yeah.
exactly to the day. I was just scrolling through TikTok and heard someone singing and really liked the music and the songwriting behind it. I think the songwriting really like stuck out to me. And I sent you a message that night saying, "Hey, I really like what you're doing." I think I even said there's a quote from a singer that I really like, a musician, that says that there's a difference between a hit song and a good song. I think I told you like make believe, which you were just kind of working through then, definitely be both, because I could see that song like at the end of American Idol when someone wins, that song could hold a special meaning to a lot of people. So, what is your songwriting process like? What I know some people they start writing music first and then add lyrics later, or some people think of lyrics and then write the music. What kind of works for you?
Okay, so I can get into it and then but I will say first that that comment that you had left, I very much remember you saying that. And it actually I can't remember exactly where it is, but I have this wall of like for anyone who's listening to the podcast, I have a wall with a bunch of post-it notes on it, and it's all kinds of encouragement people have given me over the years. And what you just said, I remember that's on my wall somewhere. Um, but so on the songwriting side of things, I would definitely say it's kind of a mixture. It's really one of those things where there's not an exact science or the recipe isn't the same every time. But I tend to go towards, honestly, before I even think about music or lyrics, maybe this technically counts as lyrics, but I think about what do I want to say? Like some sort of title, some sort of story, some sort of concept. What do I want to drive home to the listener? And I think starting there versus, okay, just putting words to paper or starting with the music, I think is what helps me make sure that I have a very pointed message with each song that I write. But then from there, say it's a love song, sometimes I more know the feeling of it before I know what I want to say. So I'll start with the music. Other times I know exactly what I want to say to that message and I start with the lyrics, and they kind of dance like together a little bit where I'll kind of come up with a chord progression on guitar. I'll start humming random things. I'll lock in some words. I'll lock in more words, then I'll fit the music to that. So it really is a back and forth. It's not an exact science, but really the compass is what I'm saying. So I would say probably more lyric, if anything.
Right. So and I think that a lot of times your songs, they kind of tell a story
Mm.
throughout. And I think that all good songs normally do that. So one of your more recent songs, Someone Like You,
Or
did I
someday
get
with
that right?
you. Yeah.
Someday with You. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
What's kind of the story behind that you like thought of? How did that process work working through that song?
Yes. It was kind of two different trains of thought that eventually merged into that song. One is I had been single for like 5 or so years and had gone through like a tough breakup and was just going through a lot of just like really looking forward to whenever I'd meet like whoever that person is for me one day. but also very much kind of in a season of like, I don't have that person, but I'm just hoping for them someday. And so there was this hopefulness, but also this kind of like bittersweetness to it that I was writing from. But at the same time, all kinds of my friends were getting married around me. I think that year was the first year I sang at a wedding. I've since like sung at like 5 or 6, and I had my sister just got married, all kinds of things. And so I had just seeing all of my friends getting married and was so genuinely excited for them that it just made me genuinely excited for whenever I get married one day. And so I kind of combined those two sentiments into a song that can kind of go both ways. It's about hoping to find the one, hoping to fall in love, but at the same time, if you found that person, that day has already come. And so like you can listen to it and really relate to it with whoever your partner is, but it also is kind of written in the bridge, especially kind of shows that the veil being pulled away of like, oh, but it's someday, it's not yet, kind of a feeling. So that's kind of where it comes from.
Oh, one of the songs we talked about make believe a little bit, and you and I talked a little bit before about that. I'm a coordinator for like a local exchange student program, bringing students from other countries. And I
Yeah.
remember we had our first student here. I heard Make Believe, and I'm like, man, that song could really resonate with these kids because of the process of working so hard to get scholarships to come. It really whittles down to just a certain amount of kids. So I think songs like that um, really can inspire people, and you write and sing songs that I think are inspiring for people like that. So I told you earlier that I'm really hoping that I can get a lot of my exchange kids to come, so you can really have like you can tell people I had like an international concert.
Yeah.
But when with talking about them having like the goal to come here, when did you realize that music was really something that you wanted to pursue?
As the yeah, to chase it as the dream. I will say there was kind of a moment that feels a little more intangible initially, and then it kind of eventually, I have some stories where that dream really became reality. But honestly, I didn't pick up guitar until I was a freshman in high school. I didn't think I was musical, but when I picked it up that very first time, I just had this like, I don't know, I've always described it as like a fire inside of me or some sort of just like energy. And I very much like count it as the Holy Spirit, kind of pointing me. And I just remember strumming that first chord on that guitar and just having this gut feeling that I'm never going to put this down. But at the same time, I didn't know what that looked like. And I was almost afraid. I was like, it was a dream that I didn't even realize was a possible dream. And then I think what ended up happening over time as I started to get better at guitar, as I chased that, because that fire was really all that I had to go off of. But then over time, and I started to get better and better, where I realized this was a dream that I wanted to chase was when I started to write songs and play them. And there was one song in particular, I was really bullied in school, and I was going through like a heartbreak at the same time. And I wrote a song called Is This Farewell? And I played it in high school for some of the students and some of the faculty, and people would just start crying when they heard the song. And I was like, wait, like my songs can, whether it's encouraging someone that they're not alone in that same feeling, or to spark like this empathy towards somebody who's going through something like that. I just realized like the power of songwriting, and I was like, if I can encourage people, I never want to do any. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. And since then, just I have story after story of how there's just been so much faithfulness in how God's written this story of like, I've only have 4 songs out, but I've already seen so much impact on people's lives because of my music. And I think that's where that dream is really kind of it's really grabbed hold of me, is it's like I just want to impact and love as many people as I possibly can through my songs.
And like I said, I think your songwriting is something that really like struck out to me. Someone that is definitely a lot younger than me, hearing you be able to write songs that sound very, very polished
Hmm.
and real, I think is something that a lot of people at any age really can't do. And somebody who hasn't been doing it as long as, or that have been doing it longer than you, I think they could look and be like, wow, that is really the way to like construct a song. That's one thing that really struck out to me. Is that something as far as songwriting, like a lot of musicians, they end up writing songs for other people. Is that something that you could ever see yourself doing someday?
I wouldn't. Put it by myself to think like maybe, and I haven't really thought about it yet, and I think I'm so young on the solo artist side that I want to give this my full shot, and then if I network my way into rooms where I'm writing songs or I write an amazing song, but it's
Hmm.
not my song, I can just feel like this should be performed by somebody else, then I totally would pitch it. But it's actually kind of funny because and it means the world like for you to say that you love my songwriting and I definitely like want to keep doing it, but it's this really funny thing where I actually kind of hate writing, but I love having written. And it's something that I've heard a number of authors, songwriters, people say the process is genuinely kind of excruciating and terrifying. Like you see this blank page, you have this vision in your head, how do you get it to be like reality? How do you get the song to exist? And it's always this like kind of painful process of like just trying to make this happen. But then every time the song comes to reality, it's like my favorite thing ever. And I want to show everybody, and I love playing them live. And it's something where I almost feel like to be a songwriter, but not to be the artist that then gets to perform it, I think is like taking the fun part out. So that's kind of where I would more lean towards being an artist than anything, is because I love being with fans. I love encouraging and kind of being the vessel to share that song with people. But yeah, I think, does that answer your question? It's kind of this
Yes.
background.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like when you play live, do you have a set list that you always kind of go by, or do you kind of scribble something out before you come and just kind of go by feel with it?
I am very type A. So I will say I have this amazing app that I pull out. I create a set list before every show. I think if anything, spur of the moment, sometimes I'll switch the order of some things. Or yeah, if there's just something just in that room, just it just makes perfect sense to sing a certain song I didn't have planned, I will do it. But a lot of times I am very structured with my sets. There's kind of a science to it to like build the energy, take a little dip for a second, build the energy again. There might be another dip, or it might be kind of ending like with a strong ending. I was actually just coming up with the set list for the show that I'm doing at Positive Energy Cafe. So yeah, so Saturday for that like hour and a half set, I'm kind of like mapping out like the energy and the kinds of songs I want to do, the different messages I want to convey. So yeah, it's a lot more organized, but at the same time, I'm not like I'm fine to learn some other additional songs. But that said, every show I might play certain songs. Like you mentioned Make Believe, you mentioned Someday with You. There's certain signature songs that I feel like I just can't go without right now, but I feel like I try to rotate the covers. I try to pull in some originals that maybe I don't sing at every show. So I try to keep it fresh, especially because I've had more people come to multiple shows now, and I want them to get the ones that they enjoy, but then get some new stuff too.
Okay. So talking about people coming to multiple shows now, the it seems like things really built really fast for you on
Mm.
TikTok. It kind of was building, and then it kind of got a lot bigger. What's your following count out now? I think it was just a couple thousand maybe when I first
Yeah,
saw
on
you.
TikTok, I mean, I think in 2023, I genuinely, at the top of 2023, I started with 100 followers and I just started posting a bunch and experimenting, did live streams, and now I'm at about 15,000 on TikTok. And then my Instagram has to almost 3,000. So, yeah, I would say they're not like giant numbers, but I will almost say that more than the numbers, I have been blown away at just the individual people that have come into my life because of these. Like, I have countless stories of people who've traveled literally across the country to come to hear me sing at a coffee shop because they found me on TikTok. And it's just been incredible and very promising. And I was like, and it also is very motivating. I'm like, I want to put on the best show possible to make it worth someone's trip, whether they drove 5, 10 minutes, they drove an hour, or they drove like 14 hours, I think is the record now. But everyone has said, that they're like, it was worth every minute of the drive. And so that's kind of one of my goals too. It's like, I just want it to be a night to remember for whoever comes.
Yes. And I think you've done a good job of building not just like people that tune in, but it really is a community that you've kind of built. And I could name a couple of people that I see their name pop up all the time. Um, so that's kind of always neat to see. And you kind of do build those relationships on there with people. So, like I said, it's kind of like a family.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
And they call them,
So you can expand on that.
because with Ashley Autumn, my last name, fans, it genuinely is a community because my fans call themselves my autumn leaves. And so, if anyone, anyone who comes to these shows, if they become a fan, you can be an autumn leaf forever, so.
Okay, well, I think that we'll get ready and let you go. Like I said, Positive Energy Cafe this Saturday, 7 p.m. We're hoping to have lots of people there. Great coffee, great people. My friend Shayna runs that place. Speaking of running, she just ran a 50K this weekend. People should know that I actually helped you run your first
Yes.
5K by giving you some training advice and sending some workouts and everything to you.
Yeah.
Um, but great people there. They're going to be so excited to have you. I know Shayna is. As soon as Shayna told me, hey, I would like to have live performers there every once in a while, I'm like, I know the perfect person because you and I have been working on doing this figuring out a place for you to play in general. So knew it was the perfect place. I think if once people hear the music and it touches them, you'll have lots of fans in the Montpelier area. The town is not huge, but the people there love it. They come together. Um, it's a great thing in the community. People there are really invested, and Shayna helps do that. And her partner there at the store, Casey, is they're all great people. So they will love meeting you, and I think that you'll love meeting them. Um, so like I said, 7 p.m. Ashley, can you tell us where people can find you online?
Yeah. So, again, if anyone listening, my name is spelled Aisley. I like to say it's AI plus Ashley mixed together. So, ashleyautumn.com, that website is where people can find my shows. They can sign up for my newsletter. You can also find me on social media and streaming platforms that way. But then ultimately, yeah, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube as Ashley Autumn. I'm on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, all of them. And I've just had 3 songs out this year. I have another song coming out in October, so definitely would love for you to follow to keep up with all the new music. And this is just the beginning, so yeah, like a lot of exciting things. So Ashley Autumn across everything.
All right, Ashley, thank you so much for coming on, being the first guest ever. Like I said, maybe you'll be the first, and you can hold that you were the first and last because maybe they'll kick me off of here and never let me do something like this again. But we'll hope that you're not the last. But we would love to have you come. It be so successful that we can have you back sometime at
Oh,
Positive Energy Cafe.
that would be awesome. No, I'm very,
All
very
right.
excited.
All right. Well, thank you so much and have a great night.
All right, you too. Thank you.